The Smith couple finally have a baby. The wife was barren and could not have children. It was a miracle, but the parents think that there is something wrong or different about the baby. The Smith couple take their baby to the doctor. The doctor tries to examine this weird disease or symptom.
Hmm, that's weird. The baby has really slow hair growth and shortened limbs. I think this could be an organelle disease. All we need is a blood sample to examine his cells.
Will this hurt him because we're really worried?
This is our first baby. I don't want anything bad to happen to him.
I have a few diagnoses. This could be either progeria or Tay-Sachs disease. Well, let's take a look.
The cell membrane protects the cell. It's formed by two layers of lipid molecules. The cell membrane is selectively permeable, and it also controls what materials are allowed in and out of the cell.
Nothing's wrong with the cell membrane. Let's move on to the rest of the cell.
Cytoplasm is a fluid inside the cell that contains many tiny structures that make, store, package, and transport everything the cell needs to carry on the functions of life. All the contents of the cells of prokaryote organisms are contained within the cytoplasm.
Nothing's wrong. Moving on.
Molecules are in plant and fungi cells, and some protists and bacteria cells. They hold water that contains inorganic and organic molecules, including enzymes in solution. These enzymes can also be found in your stomach. The enzymes break down the food.
It's digesting okay, so let's move on.
Lysosome, aka the muscles, are specialized vesicles that float freely in the cytoplasm. They are formed in the Golgi apparatus. They are responsible for breaking down and digesting materials like food and worn out cell parts. They are the destroyers for harmful bacteria.
There's still nothing wrong, so let's move on.
Ribosomes is a complicated molecule machine found within all living things. They link amino acids together and make the proteins. There are more ribosomes than any other organelle. There are two kinds of ribosomes: free-floating ribosomes, which make the proteins for the cell. Then there are ER, or endoplasmic reticulum ribosomes. They make the proteins to move out of the cell.
Doing fine here, so let's move on.
The mitochondria, aka the money, is a double membrane bound organelle found in most eukaryotic cells. They release the energy the cell needs to function. The mitochondria makes the energy. The inner membrane folds, and that is called the cristae. The folding increases surface area without increasing the size.
There's no problem here, so let's move on.
The vesicle, aka the specialist, is a small sac-like structure that forms when the part of the smooth ER buds off. The vesicle helps transport proteins and other materials that the cell needs to do the jobs that they are designed to do. It technically does a lot of things. You need this guy on the team.
Everything in this area is good.
Golgi apparatus is the organelle that packages the materials for the ER to transport. It receives the proteins from the rough ER, inspects the proteins for flaws, and makes the changes needed before sending them to the smooth ER.
Everything is alright, so let's move on. The ER, aka the transporter, the reason why it's called the transporter is because it transports system for moving materials. The ER is a type of organelle in eukaryotic cells that forms interconnected network of flattened membrane in closed sacs known as cristae. The membranes of the ER are continuous with the other nuclear membrane. It is the largest organelle besides the nucleus. They have tube-like channels that go through the cytoplasm. There are two types of ERs, the smooth ER and ribosomes, and transports proteins. It also restores lipids or fats. The rough ER has ribosomes also. It provides surface area for the ribosomes. Nothing is wrong here, so let's move on. The nucleus, aka the godfather, is the largest and most visible object in the cell and controls all the activities of the cell and all the hereditary functions like the brain. It is surrounded by a nuclear membrane and also sends chemicals and instructions to the organelles. Your son's ER looks unfamiliar. I think I know what the disease is. Oh my, your son has progeria. This disease is so rare but yet so deadly.
Oh, is he gonna live?
Well, we can't do anything, but you can try to give him a healthy life while it lasts. Give him healthy food and lots of milk. Soon, when he reaches about 5 or 6 years old, he might have arthritis, and if he does, please come to me.
Right then, we will be seeing you. By the way, how long will he live?
Well, about 14 years. 18 to 19 years if he's lucky.
We will do our best to keep him a healthy life and safe. Thank you, doctor, for everything you have done for us and for him.
Family went home sad, but happy that they had a couple of years until they were back to a lonely couple without a child. The Smith couple loved their baby Jimmy. He would always had fun and loved sports. Even though he had progeria, he was still lovable. They made a video about his life on YouTube. Jimmy didn't feel left out because of his disease. At school, nobody bullied him. Instead, they accepted him as normal. He had such great care and was healthy. When arthritis kicked in, he still didn't doubt himself. He grew up to be 15. Then one day, he started suffering so much. Jimmy's parents rushed him to the hospital. They knew it was time for him to rest.